Good afternoon. Welcome to the demonstration presentation. So today, Dr. Karnamay Rajak is going to demonstrate on using Gaussian software on Paramshakti supercomputing facility. And he is a postdoctoral researcher working with Professor Sabyasachi Mishra in the Department of Chemistry. So since this is going to be an interactive session, please feel free to stop him whenever you have any question. So Dr. Rajak, can you please share your screen to start?
Yes. Shall I start?
Yeah, please start.
Good afternoon, everybody. So today I am going to discuss about Gaussian 16 software on Paramshakti. But actually, in this today's discussion, actually I am going to discuss how to generate Gaussian input file and submit it to the Paramshakti supercomputer. This is the outline for today's discussion that about Gaussian 16 software, how to generate input file, how to access the Paramshakti, and how to submit jobs and monitor, and about the performance of the Gaussian 16. And Gaussian 16 is a general purpose electronic structure package which is widely used in the computational chemistry. Its latest version is Gaussian 16 revision 3.01. This software is not free. It is commercial software, so that you have to purchase its license from their respective website. So Gaussian 16 sets four different price for different region. For USA, one type of price, and outside USA, excluding India, China, and Hong Kong, there is another separate type of price is there. For China, Hong Kong, another set of price, and for India, they have set a now different type of price. For India, they have set the price about 6,950 for the new G16 license. That is all machine time only for clusters. So they generally not give you the source code, they will provide you the binary code. If you already have the earlier Gaussian license for G09, then you can upgrade it with that certain amount of value. You can also purchase single machine license with this respective amount. If you want to upgrade it, you have to spend that amount of money. Additionally, for macOS user, if someone want to use single user license for individual desktop, for that case they have to spend that amount of money to have the access of the Gaussian 16. Additionally, another feature of the Gaussian, that is Lambda for parallelization between different nodes. If someone have to purchase it, then they have to spend this amount of money. For new license, for upgradation, they have to pay this amount. So Gaussian 16 are not free. So you have to purchase a license to run Gaussian 16 job. Now I am to tell about the feature of the Gaussian 16. What type of functionality is there? What type of calculation you can able to do with Gaussian 16? So generally, we know about the structural geometry optimization. That type of calculation you can do Gaussian frequency calculation, transition state search, or IRC path, that means connecting transition state to both sides, either reactant and product, excited state calculation, spin-orbit coupling, and there is several solvent model are there, a non-equilibrium solvent model for excited state, that is also there. Recently, they are introduced 2-layer, 3-layer ONIA model, that is for QMM calculation, that is for the biomolecules. That type of calculation you can also done in Gaussian 16. Recently, they have introduced Venus type of package for born open molecular dynamics. There is several method. I'm just trying to highlight few of them. That in there is also semi-empirical method, MNDO, AM1, PMT, that type of method are also available with Gaussian. Not only in the quantum chemistry method, but other semi-empirical method is also there. So generally, you know about Hartree-Fock, DFT, Molar-Set, 225, configuration integration, couple cluster, and other high accuracy methods such as GN, CBS, complexity set. Also, there is included multi-configurations for excited state, and also there is molecular mechanics. That means when you are going to use the QMM for large biomolecular system, you need the molecular mechanics. This is the pure classical force. This few force field is already incorporated in Gaussian 16. Recently, they also added the CCSD calculation in Gaussian with analytical gradient and also tight binding method that are incorporated Gaussian 16. These are the few highlighting point which can go, what can Gaussian do. That now how to generate Gaussian input file. Once you have the license then you can license, then you can able to use the Gaussian software. And these are the earlier slide I am telling that what type of calculation you can do with Gaussians. Now what is the how we generate the Gaussian input? Normally we are using the extension .com or .inp for Linux system, or if you are using Windows system for .ggf file, normally by default it is generated. So normally Gaussian input is free format, case insensitive. You do not need to think about the or higher case or lower case. This is case insensitive. Normally space, comma, tabs or forward slash that works as a delimiter, different between keywords. Okay, I'm telling you what is the keywords in the next slide. And the exclamation sign, that sign you can use for commenting any line or any section. And we can divide our input file in the few sections. That is, first section we call link 0 sections. Then that is link 0 section. You can see for the sample input file, this is link 0 section. We started with percentage symbol. Okay, and in the next section, that is called root section. In root section, you have to specify what type of calculation you want. That is for root section. Then you have to have a blank line. Even you are not permitted to allow any comment line. The line should be completely blank. Okay, the next section is the title section. You can write any type of title what you want. And next line is the blank line. This is completely blank line. No comment line will be there. And the next line, the most important thing is charge. What is the molecular charge? You have to specify in the first. Then you have to specify the multiplicity. And thereafter, you have to give the molecular specification, that is geometry. Here I am writing H2O geometry in Cartesian coordinate. And after specifying the geometry, there will be a blank line. That is also a complete blank line. No comment line or any other type of writing should be there. Neither your job will be terminated. Okay, the one I'm just going to show one different type of geometry specification, which generally called Z matrix, which is in the internal coordinate. That way you can also give your geometry. So what is Z matrix? In here for in Z matrix you can specify maximum 3 information for each of the atom. So for the first atom you do not need to specify anything. That is individual atom that is generally residing at 0, 0. You can assume like that. For the second atom, you can specify like this. The second atom is connected with the 1 number atom, the first number atom, with a certain distance, OH. You have to give a approximate distance for that, which I am specifying in the letter. And the third atom, if you want to add one more atom, then you have to specify it is connected to which atom, and the approximate distance, and angle with which atom, that is HOH. That is, and if you want to add one more atom, that is not showing, I'm not showing it here. If you want to add one more atom, you have to specify one more thing, that is dihedral angle. That connected with which atom, angle with which atom, and dihedral angle with which atom. These 3 specification is enough to explain a molecule in a Z matrix coordinate. And thereafter we can specify the value, which approximate value for HOH, approximate value given. Thereafter the blank line. Their input preparation is complete. This is a very simple input preparation for the Gaussian. Now, if your molecule is little larger, not triatomic or maybe polyatomic molecule, so then how could you generate your coordinates? You cannot generate your coordinate by hand or by thinking anyway. So then you have to use some molecular visualizer or editing software. For that case, for small molecule, you can use Avogadro, which is free, which by default come with Linux. Maybe you want to have the Avogadro. And GaussView, that is not free. That is normally come with the bundle package with Gaussian. That package you can use. That is a very highly popular package. And JMol, Mol, KelMol, There are several packages for drawing and getting coordinates from that particular software. Okay. But if you want to do some bigger calculation for large biomolecules, that is QMM type calculation, you cannot draw with this type of molecular modeling software. So for that case, you have to use VMD, PyMol or Chimera, that type of package you need to have. You can generate and model different type of coordinates from that specific software. And once you have the coordinate, you can paste the coordinate at the respective location, and at the end you have to give a blank line. Now the most important section is the root section. You can see this section. This is the root section. This is the most important section. This section you have to specify whatever the keyword needed for your specific type of calculation. That all option and sub option you have to specify what that particular root section, which generally start with hash symbol. It can be multiple, and if your line is too much length with the section subsection, you can write the line one by one, and it will terminate after a blank line. You can see there is a blank line after the root section that will end after and the blank line. And the keywords, there is lots of type keyword, that what type of method you can use, what type of basis set, convergence limit, lots of keyword is there. You have to use it within this root section, and this can be represented like this. If you have some keyword, there is some option, you can write like this by equal to sign or the bracket, first bracket. And if there are multiple options, you can write like this, either this or this, anyone you can choose. Gaussian will understand. So in this, you can get all types of keyword in Gaussian website. When you click, this is the link, you can see. There is lots of keyword is there, and if you click each of the keyword, you will have other sub option that you can specify inside the root section. If you do not use any type of keyword, just write this keyword, so the default option will be there. If you want to change an additional convergence limit, either you want to increase or decrease, you have to add the sub option also. Okay. So now you are able to generate the Gaussian input file, but where to submit, how to submit in Paramshakti. So for submitting jobs in Paramshakti, first of all, you have to have a account in Paramshakti. So how will you get it? I thought all of have this account, but if someone do not have, they can get it from here. That you can search IIT Kharagpur Paramshakti, and then you will go to the home page and then start quick start guide. You can click in the quick start guide, and you can see the link here. Okay. So then you have to click the second option, user form. If you click the user form, you will have two type of options, one for the faculty, one for other than faculty. So if you click here, the one form will appear. You have to just fill up and forward it through proper channel, and then they will mail you your login ID. So once you have the login ID, then you have to connect with it. Okay. So how to connect? So normally, if you are working inside the campus, from the campus, then it can be simply connected via SSH from your Linux terminal. Okay, if you are outside campus or working from home, then it will be connected with via SSH with 4422 port. Okay, you can write the command like this from your terminal. If you write SSH -P for port 4422 from outside, and then your username and @ paramshakti.iitkgp.ac.in, then it will leads to your respective account. Yeah. For copying file, you have to use SFTP or SCP command. So for SFTP, just you can change the SSH with SFTP, then it will leads to your respective terminal. Then you can use a related command with SFTP, and you can copy by get, put, like that type of command. You can use it there. Okay. For SCP, that remote secured copy, for that case, you have to use capital P for the port and source address and the target address. If you want to copy something for your Linux desktop, you have to specify the address. If you want to copy from the local terminal, So you can skip this part. If you want to copy from other server to Param Shakti, then you have to use the username and host name of the respective server and the address from where you want to copy. And next part, you have to give your particular user ID of Param Shakti and this one, and address where you want to copy. In these two way, you can just log in and copy your files to Param Shakti. But if you are using Windows based, then what will you do? Then you have to use some terminal, which could you get from several software like PuTTY, MobileStorm, Teraterm. There are several software available in the market by which you can connect via SSH. For copying from Windows, you can use FileZilla or WinSCP. You can just search in the Google for secure SSH client. For SSFTP client, you can get several type of clients. So our Param Shakti is interactive type of login system. That means it will not directly log in via user ID or password. You have to choose the interactive option. Then you will have this have to connect with this Param Shakti. So for connecting from Linux, connecting from anywhere, Linux or Windows, when you connect to Param Shakti, you need to have understand of the basic Linux command. For that case, you may use a few books, maybe for basics Linux command, file permissions or whatever that type of command you can get. The book. This is not the most popular. Oh, sorry. One of the books is the concept of the Unix. That book you can get by Sumita Badas, which I prefer. That book give you the idea how to edit any file in VI editor, SFTP, SCP. There are lots of additional command related to Linux system you need to do. After you accessing the Param system, you have to have some basic idea about Linux system. Okay. So whenever you are using PuTTY from your Windows desktop, then how could you log in? Whenever you're using PuTTY from Windows system, you have to use the host name. For this particular location, you can add the port here. Okay, then you just simply open here. Then that type of interactive terminal came. When you have to specify your login ID, then there is a CAPTCHA. You have to write the CAPTCHA correctly. Then the password will appear. And then once you give the correct password, it will lead to the terminal in Param Shakti. And when it is logged into the Param Shakti, there will be few information you will have in your terminal that you have only permission with the two partition. One is home partition, another is scratch partition. So your location is home / username, and in a scratch / scratch front / username. In the two respective location you can have the access. Where the home partition there is about 40 GB quota, and the scratch partition there are 2 TB. But home partition is much secure. There is much larger RAID file system is there. However, scratch partition is not that much secure. But still, for the large type of calculation, you can do from the scratch directory. And another type of information you get what is the Param Shakti load, or that particular time when you are logging to the server. That CPU load, GPU load, it is showing in your terminal. Now, if you are going to submit any job, you have to prepare your batch file or job file. So for Linux software, you have to set an environment for your particular software. For that case, there is several modules already prepared in Param Shakti. That modules you can write module and avel command. You can get a list of modules which are already available in Param Shakti. And for that specific, if you need a specific environment for your packages, that may be already preloaded with a specific module. You can choose any module and load it, and you can run the specific software. It is already moduled in the Param Shakti. And for Chromex, you can see the module is loaded. For Gaussian, probably yes, and the most module is loaded here. So you can just load your module, that all the environment details for the Gaussian binary package that is loaded. And if you want to unload this module, you can simply write unload this. That will unload your related environment. So for running Gaussian software, you have to load the respective module since it is already loaded. So for submitting job, you have to prepare a batch file. You cannot submit jobs directly in the Param Shakti. You have to follow some rules, some batch script. You have to prepare some batch script by which job will be submitted to Param Shakti. The job scheduler is automatically allowed to your processor in Param Shakti. So this is the minimal job script, where you can see the first line for the batch cell and second line you can see S batch minus J job name. That means you can write any job name for your respective job. That area you can change accordingly. And second line is S batch minus P standard low. That means which partition job will be submitted. There are lots of partitions: standard low, GPU low, and high memory. So generally it is preferred to use the standard low because it is free. Standard low and GPU low, these two partition are free. The rest of the partition you have to pay some charge. And currently it is in virtual currency, may be in later stage, it may be real currency. So this is the respective. In generally you have to prepare to choose the standard low, and then minus T, that means time, how much time you expect your job to be completed. You can give maximum 72 hours, but it is not wise to choose 72 hours. Then your job will be less prioritized. Better to think about your jobs and give the reasonable amount of time in that should be completed. In third line about the nodes, you can write capital N also here. So here in Gaussian, generally, since it is a minimal script, we write it one. For serial job, we need one processor in a particular node. So that is one. And S batch N, that is number of processor, that is also N. Okay. Since we are going to set the environment of the Gaussian, we can load module here also. Module load, neither the environment will be not loaded in your batch script. Okay. And finally, the executable for the Gaussian is the G16. You can write like this: executable is equal to Gaussian G16, and then finally the executable command $exe input.com, which you already generated in input file section. Okay. Now think about little parallel job. Okay. This is not a minimal script. In an earlier slide, you see the job name, and this two line is extra, and this line give you the additional output file for the any respective job. If there is any additional output rather than the log file of the Gaussian, that will be tapped on the respective job name. J means job ID. When you submit any job, you will have a job ID. And this line means if there is any error, that will be tapped with the respective file name. Okay. In this section you already understand. This is N, that means you are always prepared to choose single node. And in this particular Gaussian, I thought what license we have, that will only work with the single node. Okay. Now for multiple parallel node, we have to use Lambda or additional other things you have to do in the input file. So you always choose the node is equal to 1. Neither there will be mess with this scheduler and the processor. So you have to always choose node is equal to 1, and then you can specify what number of processor you want for this particular respective job within the socket. You can set your time limit, maybe maximum you can set 72 hours. You can set your memory also. You can give your mail ID also. That will give your information when the job will submitted, when it is completed, if it is exited, if there is error, that type of information you get your mail ID. So normally it is better to choose your institutional email ID here. And then next line of the batch file, you can load your module like this. If the module is not prepared, then what do you do? So then you have to give certain environment for this 4 line for your Gaussian. And if you purchase any Gaussian software, if institutes do not have the license, then you have to add 4 lines for your binary Gaussian 16. G0 root, where the Gaussian 16 software will be there, and Gaussian scratch directory, where you want to store your scratch directory, and you export the environment with G16 and with scratch directory, and then you have to use this line. Okay, this is the minimal environment needed for the Gaussian binary file. And finally, the executable is the G16. Okay, and the last line we are adding here for G16 input.com. That is Gaussian input file. So here Gaussian 16, here you do not need MPI run by that type of multiprocessor things, and it is already inside the Gaussian 16. You already specify some number of processor in root section, maybe, yeah. Right. In the root section, it already specifies the number of processor. So that processor must be same with that one. Neither there will be some problem or error. That processor should be matched with that number. Okay, neither unnecessary you will occupying much processor, but you with less efficiency your job will be running. So that processor number must be matched. Okay, then once you have the batch file, you have to submit your job like this as batch job and any name you can job file, any job file, just enter and it will have a job ID, respective job ID. So on this respective directory where we creating, you have to have both file. One is job file, and that means batch script, and this one, another is Gaussian input file. Two files should be there in a particular directory. Then you can submit the job like this and you will have some job ID. Now the monitor the job. So once you have submitted your job, you will have some job ID. How to monitor your job? Simply you can write QE, SQUE. That means list all the jobs. If you submitted your jobs, it will display like this. The job information, that is in the first line you will have the job ID, second line which partition your job is running, third line the job name. That is important. That's why I'm telling you, to each of the separate job you have to write separate job name. Neither you will not understand once your job is submitted. Then the username, then the status, that means running. If it is running, that's why it is R. And then how much time it will spend in after submitting a job. The nodes, how many nodes it is acquiring, and node list, that is specify which node the job is submitted. Okay. There is additional command that you can, if you want to show more details about any respective job, then you can write scontrol show job ID and job ID number. Yeah, here is the number, that's why I use bracket. And if you want to kill, somehow you mistaken something, so you can kill your job also using scancel your job ID, that will kill your job. So you can get more information from this site, IIT KGP site, job control section. There is lots of other command which is related to get the job information and other things. Also, you can search from that particular website since Param Shakti use Slum workload manager. So by default command for workload manager, you can search from their website also. You can get lots of additional important command from the SWAM workload manager from their respective website. So your job is submitted, and when your job is completed, how could you know? You can view your log file from that current directory. Just you may use less Gaussian file name .log. That file will be generated there. When you use less command is used generally to viewing any file. Okay, where you cannot edit. Normally, initially when we prepare our job file, we are use VI. That is editor, VI editor. But less command, you just only see. You cannot edit anything. Okay, so generally I prefer to use less. And if you use capital G, it will leads to you at the end, and you can see some normal termination. That means your Gaussian job is successful, and you will have a complete log file. There we get all type of informations. Yeah. Now this is my last slide. I'm going to show about the performance of Gaussian over the CPU. So and Gaussian 16 is much updated with Gaussian 19 with respect to speed. that they claims that Gaussian 16 is much faster from the Gaussian 19 as they are updated it. But if you want to see this picture, that this is per core, this is speed of performance. So simply they claim that up to 1 to 20, you can see with 20 processor they have maximum 15x speed. For 40 processor they have 24x speed, and they have tested with that molecule. Or if you are using 80 processor, your speed is 34x, that is less than half. In 40 processor you can see, if you increase 40 processor, you will not get 40x speed, you will get 20x speed. If you are using 20 processor, you are not getting 20x speed, you are getting 15x speed. That means it is always preferred to choose less number of processor as per your requirement. If you use unnecessarily higher processor, that will not get any benefit from you. If you use higher processor, that will initially stuck with submitting the jobs, you will not get any slot. So always you have to think about your job load, and then you have to choose your processor. Normally it is recommended for normal 10 to 20 items job, better to use 8 process jobs. If you unnecessarily increase your job, that will lead to give you more time for getting the slot, and that will be not much efficient as you expected. So it is always preferred to choose a reasonable, less amount of processor for submitting your jobs. Yeah. So for today's discussion, this much I have. Okay. Now I would like to say thank you everybody for listening. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Very nice presentation. So the floor is open for questions. So participants, if you have any questions, please ask. So just before that, I would like to ask one question. So
Yes.
in the submit script file, you specify the number of CPUs you want for that job. And do you need to specify the number of CPUs in the Gaussian input file also?
Yes, that should be the same. You have to manually check. This one should be the same what you mention in the Gaussian input file.
Okay, so here if you specify 10, then you also need to make a change in the Gaussian input file, make it 10.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will by default use 1 or like let's say if I specify 10 here and I forgot to specify the same number in the Gaussian input file, then if I run this job, what will happen?
Then it will occupy 10 processor from Paramshakti, but it will running single processor.
Single processor. Okay. So whoever uses Gaussian, they need to make the change at both the places.
Yeah. For that area, they need to be careful little.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. The others, please, if you have any questions, please ask. Okay, looks like there are no questions. Thanks, Dr. Rajak, for actually devoting this much time to prepare a very nice presentation and giving the demonstration. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, participants, for your time.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Thank you.